Hello and welcome to another StageDesigner tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to talk about the render preview and the functions that exist there and how we can use them. The render preview basically shows me what I am projecting in my output, if it's a projector or another monitor or any form of output that I have connected to my system. If I basically play a video, I can see my video goes through the layer manager, gets mixed with other videos in case other videos exist, and is going through the track manager, and it's getting mixed with the other tracks and goes to my output. And here I can see what is being projected in the output. I can zoom in and out in this render preview. I can move it around in case I need to make it smaller or bigger. And I can basically adjust it how I want it to be. And if I need to restart this view, I can click on this restart button and it's going to be adjusted again. I have a timer here up left corner of this render view, and this shows me the time of the day. So it's basically getting the time from the computer and it's showing me what time it is. And the second one is a timer, and it shows me how long I am working with this project, or since this timer has been set to 0. So basically I can set this timer to 0 by clicking on it, which means that, for example, if I'm working with in a project that I need to have a look on the time and I need to trigger certain stuff at a certain time of the project, I can always click this and put it back to 0 in the beginning of my project, so I can have an overview of when my queue is, or to generally know how long I have been working with the software. The third function that we have here is the keystone function, which means I can select between a keystone and a normal view for this render preview, and that is in case I have done some output correction, for example projection mapping. I have done some correction to my output. With normal view I just see the content that I'm projecting to my output, but not the projection correction that I have done. So if I click on this, I'm going to activate the keystone, and now I'm going to see my render with the correction that I have done to my output. So by clicking on this, I can activate and deactivate my preview. And down here I have some other functions and options available. First one is the transform tab. So basically all the transform options that I have for each of the clips, I have it once also for the render output, which means, for example, if I need to do some small adjustments to my output, instead of doing 2 single clips, I can just here, for example, change the opacity, do the translate, and scale it up and down, and so on and so forth. So this gives me the option to use these transform options, but on my master output I can set this all back to the default values by clicking on this restart. I have also the option to use one effect on my master output. Let's say I have done all the single effects on my clips, but at the end I realized that on my render I need some color correction or some other effects. I can simply choose that effect from this list and I can edit it and basically set it up how I want it, and this effect is going to be on the master output no matter what clip I play. So it's going to be applied to every video that I play. And as the third option, I have the audio. I can here adjust the volume of my master. So in case I have multiple audio files here with different volumes, this is not going to adjust them, it's just going to adjust the master. So it's going to be on top of everything else. I can do that here. And that is basically how to work with the render output and the render preview and the functions that exist here. I hope you're enjoying using the software and hope to see you